Diane, am I in?
You are, yep.
Okay, good, thank you.
And we are live on YouTube.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Revere School Committee meeting for March 16th, 2021. It is currently 6:06. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Bronson Rizzo,
Here.
Mr. D'Ambrosio,
Here.
Mr. Ferranti.
Here. Sorry.
No worries. Mrs. Gravellisi,
Here.
Mr. Sinella,
Present.
Ms. Ty, Mayor Arrigo.
Okay, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America
And
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and
and
justice for all.
justice for all. Thank you. Right now, I just want to take a personal point of privilege. Does anyone mind?
Go ahead.
I just want to acknowledge that in the past couple of weeks, we've lost two of our former colleagues. One was John Hurley, and he worked many years in finance, retiring as the business manager of Revere Public Schools. Some of the people that I've spoken to say they remember him as the father of Revere kindergarten program, that he really wanted to push for a full-time kindergarten where it's still not mandatory in many areas. He also served on the Revere City Council for 11 years. And also, I want to acknowledge Liz Anton and her family, Paul, Lindsay, and Michael. Our hearts go out to you. 42 years in the Revere Public School. She was kind, generous, spontaneous, and really always fun. She loved spending time on the Cape and gardening, and she was truly loved being with her 5 grandchildren. That was one of her greatest rewards when she got to retire just a short few years ago. And I know personally, I've been truly blessed by her friendship. Her and Sam Petropalo had hired me 29 years ago at the Garfield, and then I ended my career at the McKinley with Liz as the principal there. So out of respect for our beloved colleagues, I request a moment of silence. Thank you, everyone. And onward and upward to public speak. A first person coming in with hands up is, let me just remind everyone, public speak we normally hold for 15 minutes. It's 3 minutes per person. We do request that you give your name and address when prior to speaking. And this is just an opportunity for us to listen to our constituents. And it's not a debate or a conversation. It's where we get to hear what's on your mind, and we'll take everything into consideration at a future time. So the first one I see is John Kingston.
Mrs. Rizzo, if I could.
Yep.
We have several students who wanted to speak tonight. Is it permissible to give them preference in the order?
And as much as I like you, Mr. Kingston, I really prefer our students first, and I'm sure he would agree.
So the first one is going to be Rayhan Benzadok. If I can find him right here. So I'm going to allow Rayhan to talk.
Hi, Hello, all watching and members of the Revere School Committee. My name is Rehan Benstock, and I'm here with Erda, Valeria, and Isha on behalf of the rest of the petition working team, who we also wish could be here with us today. We are also representing the greater population, including over 500 signers, donors, and supporters, including educators, students, families, and friends. We're here talking to you less than 2 days after we 8th graders of RPS started the petition titled Postpone Uniforms. My fellow group mates and I have come here not only to persuade you to end mandatory uniforms for the rest of the hybrid school year, but also to take initiative into consideration concerning family voice and representation.
Thank you very much. Why can I not find? Hold on. Okay. And next we have Isha Hassan.
Hello, my name is Isha Hassan. With the idea of reopening schools hybrid, families found themselves with many questions. One question being uniforms. With a global pandemic and a city employment rate of 18.5% as of August, caregivers are scrambling to send their students in proper fitting uniforms. I and fellow 8th grade students in discussion found it necessary to take action for those in this time that need our support. Our postpone uniforms petition was done in students' personal time, meeting every day to collaborate and brainstorm. After sending it out, we are grateful for the participation we have received and sympathize with guardians, educators, and students who have signed and commented. We see them describe their stress of purchasing uniforms on short notice in a time where it's not as accessible, not as affordable, and not as realistic. For them, we hope to accomplish the following goals. 1, getting rid of mandatory uniforms for all RPS elementary and middle school for the 20 to 2021 hybrid school year. 2, creating transparency between the superintendents and school committee with families about important decisions before they are made. And 3, allowing families and students to have a say in their future decisions surrounding school committee decisions.
And Isha, I want to just acknowledge that I brought you up in the wrong order, and I apologize for that.
Yes, I improvised, but yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. And next up is Valeria Restrepo. And Valeria, I think you're still on mute.
Hi, sorry about that. Okay, so my name is Valeria Restrepo, and although our petition is called Postpone Uniforms, our work goes farther. With the newfound support and perspectives, we have realized just how important family and educator input is for our work, and the same should go for school committee decisions. This is why we're also proposing an addition of 2 more Revere School Committee positions. One proposed position is filled by an educator, someone who is actively involved in the Revere community as a teacher to students. Another proposed position is filled by a family member of a student, someone who can represent the overall Revere population from the perspective of a guardian. On top of this, we also propose more transparency around school committee decisions before they're made, primarily through data collection. One parent, Farah Sheikh, commented this should have been voted on during the survey send-out. Another parent, Faiza Benzadok, also added it's only fair that the students and parents have a say on the decisions regarding uniforms, highlighting the importance of community input.
Thank you. And last we have Erta Ismaili.
Hello everyone, my name is Ertis Mahili and I live on 62 Shawmut Street here in Revere. Apologies for any mistakes, I'm also improvising here. But in closing, the overall support from the community as a whole should leave enough reason that, without a doubt, there needs to be change within the school committee and how decisions are made. It's becoming exceedingly clear that not only do people think that uniforms should be postponed, but also that families and educators need more support and representation regarding crucial decisions. We call on the school committee and Greater Revere population to consider our demands and take into consideration the over 500 signatures and perspectives we've gathered. We're not doing this work for them, but with them. We'd also like to acknowledge our 8th grade team who played such a big role in this process. The names include Michael Angelo, Ryan Elmzabi, Michaela Moganecki, Sydney Susie Nicholas, Adrita Rahman, Nisrin Sekat, Valentina Tate, Elizabeth Turner, and lastly, give a shout out to the families and educators who have inspired us and filled our hearts with love. Without your support, we as a whole wouldn't be here. Just the overwhelming love that we've gotten has been unimaginable, and it's just the very fact that we're having this conversation and this opportunity. We're very grateful for that, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Well, I'm impressed. Can I just ask what school they are from, or are they from different 8th grades?
We are all actually from the Rumney Marsh Academy, but I feel like it's not just about us, it's also about everyone. So we have people from different countries, we have people from different states, we have people from different schools here in Revere, but we're here for them, we're here to work with them and represent them.
Excellent work, Erda. Thank you. Anyone else, Ms. Kelly?
There is one other hand up. Let me just see here. Oh no, that may have been, oh, hold on. Mr. Kingston.
Okay.
And John, just a reminder to unmute.
Hi, my name is John Kingston. Good evening. I live at 140 Winthrop Ave. In my job at the credit union, I interact with a lot of school staff, teachers, and parents. And there's been a lot of discussion about school uniforms. I have no problem with school uniforms. I've seen the data. I know it can help in learning and help in other social areas. But I feel that imposing this on parents right now just isn't a good idea. There's just too much going on in the world right now to enforce uniforms. I realize the schools are helping to donate uniforms, providing dollar uniforms to purchase for $1. But I just don't think with all that's going on and all the uncertainty of the hybrid model and all that's going on in the world, that just to enforce a uniform policy at this time just isn't a very good idea. I wouldn't be having this conversation if it was a normal school year and we're going back to school in August. I think 8th graders are mostly impacted. If they're buying uniforms now, the uniform kind of dies when they leave the school. And yes, they could donate it to the school. That would be a great thing. But as far as having to purchase it, some of the parents have said to me they're having a hard time finding uniforms because it's not traditional back to school time. And the other thing is a lot of parents haven't bought uniforms since August of 2019. So to say, oh, you can use what you have at home or just doesn't really work. I was really shocked to see in the letter that uniforms were even being talked about. And at first I thought someone was mistaken, but another parent showed me the letter. And I think it's really not the time or place for it. And it's really bothering me. And I just, based on what the kids were saying, I think there is some support for that. The only other thing I would say is if you do decide to relax the policy, I strongly encourage you to use every means available to get the word out to the parents. I did have a parent tell me today that they were upset that if you do relax the policy, they went out and spent the money and bought them and took the time to track them down. And I said, well, I'm sorry about that. I said, but I still think they should relax the policy. I just want to make sure the word gets out there. I know you folks do a good job putting things on the website and stuff like that, but I know sometimes it doesn't reach every parent. I think maybe an all call or having the principals do it, or maybe even the teachers doing it in their dojo might help get the word out if the policy is relaxed. I have no problem with the policy of school uniforms. And again, I wouldn't be having this conversation if it were August, but not at this time. The federal government is spending literally $1 trillion, almost $19 trillion because they realize that a lot of people are hurting. And I just don't think this is the time that uniforms need to be put into place. Thank you. And I give you all you credit for all the hard work that all the teachers, administrators, and the school committee have done to get back into school and to keep the kids learning. So I do thank you for that, but I do think that this needs to be looked at again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kingston. And without seeing anyone else with their hands up, we will move on to recognitions. And I have to say, it's with enthusiasm that I share that Jill Herwig has been announced as the Health Educator of the Year by the Mass Association for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance. And this is a well-deserved award that recognizes Jill's passion and dedication to her students and profession. On top of teaching health and wellness at Garfield Middle School, Jill serves on the Advisory and Grading Practices Committees, School Improvement Council, facilitates district PLGs, is a teacher mentor, and runs the Power of No. Jill has been a leader on the Massachusetts State Advocacy Team for the past 4 years and took the lead facilitator position for remote learning this past spring. Jill was so impressive that she was invited to present and facilitate for the Eastern District of Shape America with National Association of Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance. Jill has also presented she presents at statewide conferences, and this is a great acknowledgement and something we should be celebrating as a school community. I know we all wish and congratulate Jill and your accomplishments at this time. And I have to say, some of your peers could not stop talking about you. So that's where I got most of my information, but they really, truly had so many good things to say. Would you like to share some things about the program?
Can I ask Dr. Mokaba to speak for a minute first?
Sure.
Worked closely with Jill throughout her career.
Sure.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Jill might make me well up. I am so proud of her. And I think one of the things that we as principals, when we look to hire people with enthusiasm, we see these new teachers and teachers with life experience. And we know that it's to give them a shot could change kids' lives. And I think Jill can speak to, she was a career changer and someone who had such a passion for what she did. And I'm so glad 9 years ago I was able to hire her at the Garfield. And I will say I've observed her teaching over the years. And I think one of the most important things is that, you know, if I can look at a teacher and say, I would want my own child in her class, I wish that my own son had a middle school health experience in Jill's class. It is amazing. So I'm so proud of her. And I just wanted to congratulate her without tearing up. Congratulations, Jill.
Danielle, you're gonna make me cry. Already kind of welling up, but I appreciate it. And I appreciate like all the support from all of you. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Jill.
Yeah, I imagine it would have been a different way to do this if we weren't in COVID panic, but we are all impressed with your work every day. So thank you for being in our Revere School community. We love having you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, on to superintendent's report. Dr. Kelly?
Thank you. So first up, we have a presentation by the Garfield Elementary Robotics team. Mr. Coots, if you could help me bring forward some of the students, let me
Sure.
make you a co-host. We have two teachers, Barbara Wallace, which I'm going to guess
Actually,
is GES Barbara.
Dr.
And
Kelly,
Alice, yeah,
if you can make Allison Richardson a co-host, she is going to share her screen with the PowerPoint slides.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Dr. Kelly, am I able to introduce the team? Let me know.
I think we're still promoting people. I've got
Okay.
Princey and Aya.
And Lucas.
Okay. Okay, I think that we have everybody in the waiting room who was on the list that you sent.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Kelly, and thank you, school committee members, for this opportunity. My name is Corbett Coots, the proud principal of the Garfield Elementary School, and I am honored to present to you this evening our robotics program. We have two teachers who are dedicating and volunteering their time to help lead this impressive group of students. Allison Richardson is in her second year at the Garfield Elementary School, and Barbara Wallace is in her sixth year at the Garfield Elementary School. Both of them are brand new to robotics this year. Our robotics program is a long time program that was run by other teachers for its entire existence. Recently, about 2 or 3 years ago, one of those teachers transferred to the Wayland School. And then this past spring, the other teacher, Charlotte Ryan, retired from Revere Public Schools. So Allison and Barbara were willing to step up and carry on the robotics program, having very limited, if not no, background in robotics. And they have done an absolutely amazing job organizing the program, recruiting students, learning about robotics and coding so that they can help the students to do some coding and robotics on their own. And I hope you are as impressed with them as I have been throughout this school year. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Allison and Barbara.
Thank you so much for having us, everyone. We're so excited to show you what the students have done. They really took off and each were able to develop their own projects and follow their own passions for this. Barbara, are you ready for me to share the screen?
Yes, thank you.
Let's get going. Okay. So, can everyone see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, I'll put it in present mode and we'll be good to go.
And we just need to go to slide. Perfect.
Okay, here we go.
Thank you. Thank you to the school committee, mayor, Superintendent Kelly, and Principal Coots for inviting us here today. The Garfield Elementary Robotics Club is so excited to be here. We'd also like to thank our collaborative teachers and parents that have allowed our club to happen. In our show today, the students will be using dot and dash robots. We are so excited to be here and so proud of our students. Members of the Garfield Elementary School's Robotics Club are myself and Miss Richardson. The student team presenters today are Princey, Aya, Sophia, Lucas, Lena, Ryan, and Michelle. The other members of the team are Genesis, Kevin, and Robert. What is a robot? A machine operated by computer programs, and you'll be able to see how the students coded their programs and their computers and robots. What are the benefits of robotics? Well, I think especially during this remote time, this has been a hands-on learning opportunity. It's also been one of the few clubs that has run after school to allow students to be able to gather after school. They're able to use teamwork, collaboration, their engineering and computer skills, problem solving, thinking critically, and creativity. Students were able to apply, analyze, and evaluate these skills when they were creating their programs.
So we actually had the students come to the Garfield to pick up their robots. And from there, they were able to bring the materials home with them and then meet with us over Zoom each week to explore them together. The students worked and brainstormed and to plan tasks for the robots to perform. And then they helped one another code their robots to turn their ideas into a reality. During our club, our students were engaged using computer skills to code, diagnose problems, recode to fix those problems. They were also creative and thought of innovative designs and ways to enhance the function of dot and dash. So let's watch now to see how our students use their new skills to code light shows, dances, plays, and movies. They are ready for the 21st century, and they truly are. It's so impressive what they've come up with, and we are so excited to share. Okay, our first presenter is Lena. She's chose to record her presentation rather than giving it live. So I will make the video large.
Hi, my name is Lena Morris. My robot's name is Spicy Donut, and I'm in the 4th grade. And I made a dance that my robot is gonna do. And I also added some lights. These are the coding instructions I used to do the dance. Thank you. Hi, my name is Lena Morris. My robot's name is Spicy Donut, and I'm in the 4th grade.
Okay.
And I made a dance that my robot
I'm trying to pause it. Okay, so that was just our first presenter, and you can see she had a dot robot with her there. Oh, excuse me, Dash. That's Dash.
Hi, my name is Lena Morris.
And I will
It's Spicy Donut, and I'm
stop sharing so that we can have our students take the wheel. And we have up first Princey, who is in 5th grade.
Hello, my name is Princey. My robot's name is also Princey, and I have a song named Let It Go for you. 1 second. Principal, please come to the stage. Hello, I'm here to perform a song for you. My song name is Let It Go. Snow glows white on the mountains tonight. Not a footprint to be seen. Kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like the swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it, heaven knows I tried. Don't let them in, don't let them see you be the good girl. You always have to be, 'cause you don't feel, don't let them know. Now they know, let it go, can't hold it back anymore. You're welcome. So for the robot, I had to do some coding. So I figured out that I couldn't record a whole the whole song in one recorder. So I had to put it into separate recorders and do it that way.
Nice job, Princey. Ryan, you're next.
Hello, my name is Ryan. My robot's name is Eric, and today I'm going to present to you my light show.
I present to you my light show. Thank you for watching my light show.
And it took kind of a while because I have a lot of code here. I have to put a lot of light code, sorry. And then, so I have to put a lot of code because gotta have all the lights. And yeah, that's basically it.
Thank you, Ryan. That was awesome. Aya, you're up next.
Hi, my name is Aya, and I'm in grade 5. My robot's name is Mad Eye, and today we have prepared a play. Just need to connect my robot. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Here it is.
Whoa, where am I? I guess I'll just walk around. Oh no. What was that?
Why don't you go take a look, Dot?
I'm gonna go with
Come on.
no, I'm scared. Not sure about this. Just a little peek. Oh, I'm gonna look over there. No, not there, Doc.
You okay, Dot? Did that hurt? Oh, come on. Thank you for watching my play. The code that I use is Snap Wonder, and it's very long. Goes all the way up here.
Great work. And we have Sophia next.
Hi, my name is Sophia. My robot's name is Kibo, and I'll be presenting a light show. That was my light show. So for the coding, I decided to keep doing loops and loops of colors and added some dances in it.
Right, nice work. And Lucas, you're up.
Hello, my name is Lucas. My robot's name is Dennis, and I'm gonna be also showing a light show. Just turn off. 3, 2, 1, go.
Howdy.
That's all. And what I did to code it is I changed the color of the lights in the middle a lot. And then I also changed the light bulbs in the middle to create different patterns.
Lucas, awesome job. Thank you so much. And our final presenter is Michelle. And Michelle, if your sister wants to join you, that's okay too. I know she helped you.
Okay, sure. Wait a few minutes. Okay, yes. So I created a kind of game thing. So, yes, I made a game.
This is a game of what does God say? The directions are you can clap, roll over, or oh.
Just roll over. And then when you press the top of its head, it goes like this.
I love it when you hold me.
Yes. So like I made this by recording my voice a few times to make the directions. And then like when you go into the start thing, it goes like in the start, if Dot hears a clap, then it would start barking. And then if Dot if you roll Dot over, then it like makes a weird sound like it's dizzy. And then also if you touch the top of its head, then it makes it just says something. So that's how I made this. Thank you so much for watching this.
Thank you, everybody.
So that is the end of our robotics presentation. If you have any questions for the teachers or the students or for me, please let me know. But boys and girls, I'm so proud of you. You work so hard on your robots, and thank you for sharing your hard work and those presentations with us. It looked great.
Mr. Coots,
Yes.
will this program be continued on up into the Garfield 7th and 8th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, to your knowledge?
We received these robots through a grant a few years back, but I don't see why not. If Mr. Paczynski was interested, I'd be certainly happy to partner with him.
Because the high school has a very nice program, and getting them young enough, it would be, a continuation would be nice.
Yeah, that would be great. And I think the children impressed themselves at how quickly they picked up the coding. And I know that Miss Richardson and Mrs. Wallace were very impressed with how quickly the students were able to accomplish the dancing and the moving and the lights from a few short sessions with coding. The kids were
But
really
I think also
motivated.
they're to be congratulated for short notice themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Not only to grasp it enough to teach it. So let's give a pat in the back there. That's very, very nicely done. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say, Lena, your robot dances a lot like me. Just saying. But how often does robotics meet?
We've been meeting weekly on Wednesdays. Oh,
And Aya, is that easy to do with remote learning?
Yes, it is pretty easy because we meet after school and you can just log into the Zoom and wait for them to let you in. That way you won't be late and you won't be early. You're always on time.
Perfect. I like that style. I'm just amazed. Miss Ty, do you have something to say? You muted, Miss Ty.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Absolutely.
The joy on the teachers' faces as they watch their students succeed in that way was great. And I think it's another example of what our teachers do, knowing how much our kids are capable of, that they need to be challenged, and they rise to the challenge all the time. And it was great to see them interacting with each other and just kind of reveling in the success of the children. And I feel the same way. It was great to watch them. Thank you. Have a question. Does any one of you students think about going into using robotics as in a career choice? I mean, I think perhaps robots will be in every career at some point fairly soon. But does anyone want to go into that as a career?
Aya said yes.
I want to become a doctor when I grow up, so I am sure I'm going to have to use my robotics knowledge at one point in my life.
Well, there's a whole world out there waiting for you, and I wish you all so much success. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you, Mr. Coots. And the teachers, thank you so much.
And you are all welcome to jump off.
Thank you all for letting us share the learning happening. And once again, great job, boys and girls, and great job, Allison and Bob. Thank you.
And we can't wait to go back into school so we can come see everyone live in person.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who gave you the posters?
Shall I proceed?
Yes, please.
Okay. The next item on the superintendent's report is the announcement of the GLEAM Collaboration and Preparation Grant. And GLEAM stands for Growing Literacy Equity Across Massachusetts. And I want to thank Dr. Christina Porter, who secured this grant for us at the state level. It's a $3,000 planning grant that we anticipate will, with a solid plan, which would be typical, there'll be additional funding for implementation down the road. So we're very excited for that. And then from Dr. Garcia, he wanted me just to let families know that he will be working on releasing paperwork and more information to families about our equity audit. As was brought up earlier in the meeting, it's really important to us to engage families and students in our constant improvement. And so there will be 2 opportunities in the equity audit process for families to share voice and be involved. The first will be a 10 to 15 minute survey that will be distributed in English, Spanish, Arabic, and Portuguese that we hope families will complete. That's slated to come out in the middle of March, mid to late March. And the second is that our partner, Mass Insight Education and Research, is holding family focus groups to hear directly from families. The focus groups will take place via Zoom or by phone, and they'll be in the late afternoon or early evening hours to accommodate parents who are working. And that link to sign up for a focus group will be shared with the survey. And all of the links to both the survey and to sign up for the focus group will be on the website. So just a little foreshadowing of what is to come on that. And now I'm gonna, unless there's any questions.
Just a reminder, we've also received doing the survey through Dr. Garcia, and today is the last day to fill it out. So if you kind of put it in the back of your head, it's time to get to it. You got a couple of hours.
And now I'm gonna pass it over to Dr. Gallucci, who's gonna give an update on our reopening.
Hello, everyone. So we welcomed over 200 students the week of March 8th and March 15th back to our schools across the district. The overall feedback was incredibly positive, and this spans from students, families, staff members, teachers, paraprofessionals, really just an incredible sense of pride on behalf of us in the district for everybody's work, not only in making the return smooth, but also preparing in advance. And that was really the sentiment that we heard across the district, that families were so excited, kids were so excited. We saw the kids, they were so excited, and also did such a great job. So one small anecdotal story I will share. On the very first day on March 8th, we had a gas leak outside of the high school and had to evacuate the building 22 minutes into the students' first day. And I was fortunate enough to work alongside the administrators, the teachers, and the paraprofessionals who were able to walk with the students over to the Rumney Marsh Academy, set up an alternative learning site within the RMA cafeteria that allowed us to continue the distancing protocols and the safety protocols that are in place. And I can't tell you how seamless it was. The teachers, the paraprofessionals, the administrators, everybody was a leader that day, and the students themselves. The students did such a great job of maintaining distance, maintaining mask wearing, even when we were outside in the fresh air, a bit cold air, and just did such a great job evacuating the building, setting up this alternative site, and really engaging in the learning before they were dismissed from the Rumney Marsh Academy on Monday at the high school level. The middle school level, we had kind of the same report. The kids were so excited. Parents were thrilled. The teachers at one middle school lined the hallways to welcome back the kids into the building. The kids were able to tour the building. Attendance was excellent for the first few weeks, And the middle school echoed what I just said about protocols and safety measures being followed. Compliance has been great. At the elementary level, kind of same report. The effectiveness of wearing masks was far better than I think we could have ever imagined. There were very few instances where students had difficulty wearing their masks. And certainly those instances were few and far between. And the teachers have done a great job in really using those spaces for social and emotional learning to really teach them how to use the mask effectively, build up tolerance, work with the families on strategies as to how they can use the mask. And again, that was, I mean, the figure that I got was about 95% compliance in just a few instances where there needed to be some learning. Teachers did a great job fostering incredibly positive school and classroom environments. I think those SEL spaces that we've built into the schedule have been incredibly helpful. We are certainly not diving right into academics when students walk through the door. In fact, we have a large period of time where students are welcomed, they're checked in on, they do some positive techniques to start their day off on the right foot. And really just nice job all around. And the teachers and the paraprofessionals have done a great job of navigating the in-person and remote component that goes on simultaneously in some classrooms. So the first 2 weeks could not have gone smoother. I had one parent text me a selfie with her son and said it was the best day of the school year. On their way to work, on the way to school, both masked in the chilly weather. But there was just so many of those little stories that permeated throughout the buildings. And it's just a really nice first 2 weeks all around, and a great job by our families, our kids, and our staff across the board. Just incredible job. As we continue our reopenings, principals are hosting their personal school-based town hall meetings this week. They've already communicated those out to families, so via email, and some have already taken place. And that's where principals are unveiling the very specific topics that are specific to student schedules and other school-based questions. Dr. Kelly and I, along with our testing partners, are going to be hosting a pooled testing webinar this Thursday at 5:30. We sent out that communication to families. It's really going to explain the specifics of the pooled testing protocol that we are anticipating will be in place as another measure of keeping our schools safe and sound for students to learn in person. We do plan, I know there's been a lot of talk in the community about the commissioner's guidance. We are tentatively planning to submit a waiver to fulfill the full in-person learning that's slated for April 5th at the elementary level and April 26th at the middle school level. We feel as though the plan that we are now embarking on needs some time to take hold before we shift to another model. And I know we're going to be discussing that as a committee. And we're very excited for the week of the 22nd, because that means we welcome more kids back, and certainly for the week of 29th, with the week of the 29th, which will be our first week at, I'm going to use air quotes here, full capacity. And for us right now, district-wide, full capacity means about a third of our typical population in school buildings. And for this current format, that is the max number that will be present in buildings, obviously give or take a few percentage points either way. So those 2 weeks that are coming up are very exciting for this school district, and we look forward to seeing all of our kids back at the elementary, middle, and high school level. And so we've put a ton of communication on the website, and as I said, families have received emails not only about the district-wide webinar that's scheduled for Thursday, but also from their principals about specific information related to schools, and as well as the school-based town hall meetings. So overall, very positive return to school. Certainly not perfect, nothing ever is, But the staff has just been so great at navigating those challenges and working through them with the kids and the families. That's the end of my report, Dr. Kelly.
Thank you, Richie. And I'll proceed to the last item on the superintendent's report is the middle school lottery. As you know, typically we have tours and forms go out in February for our middle school placement lottery. But given the events of the past year, we are delaying that, and the selection forms will go out just prior to April vacation. And we're going to invite families to return those by May 10th. And we will wait to hold our lottery until May 27th. So families should look for more information on that coming soon. And as we do every year, Dr. Mokaba will give a little bit more information at the April school committee meeting and share the numbers for the lotteries at the May school committee meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Do any members have any questions or comments about that? Mr. Franti.
Mr. Chairman, Diane, where are they going to hold the lottery? Are they going to hold in the school committee room, or are they doing it City Hall? Do we have a place where we're going to do the lottery?
No, we anticipate we'll do it in the school committee room as we typically do at Revere High School. There's ample room to social distance, and there's really only 4 people in the room when the lottery happens, myself and Dr. Mokaba and the 2 consultants that we hire to conduct the lottery.
No student, no parents?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Franti. We'll move on to the student representative report. Ryan.
And Ryan, I just gave you co-host, so you should be able to share.
All right. Okay.
I'm going to actually jump off, and Dr. Mokaba is going to take over with Dr. Gallucci for me.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly.
Thank you.
All right, can everybody hear me? All right, so for my student report today, just some updates. I really want to just echo the remarks made by Dr. Gallucci and just how proud I am.
Ryan, we lost you.
Face value, it's really great that we have students back in classrooms, but it also opened up a lot of resources and a lot of activities for just students to get back into the swing of things, students to get back to these healthy lifestyles. And like I've said, nothing but positive things, and really just shows what we can do when we all work together. So to update, well, like I said, students back in school, great thing. Sports are back in full swing. That was a big part of our push to get back a lot of the students. So sports going back, that was really great. And it's also one of the best activities, one of the best extracurriculars, but just students be outside, students be active, students be healthy. And that's something as a district I know we value. As far as clubs, I know the new remote schedule is its goal is to get students back into the building, and there is somewhat minimal time for clubs. And that's something I figure we'll be able to elaborate on, be able to designate more time for. And I figure as we have more students coming back in the building, the extracurriculars will kind of find a place themselves. But that's something definitely we should continue to focus on. Although I know the agenda for all numerous things as far as coming back to school is still growing. And then this week, a lot of the students, we decided we were going to show a little encouragement to the teachers getting vaccinated. So a group of students, part of the multiple student councils at the high school, went down to the RMA and were able to show signs and cheer on the teachers that were getting vaccinated. And it's just a great step in the right direction for the whole community that our teachers are finally getting vaccinated. and that teachers feel a lot safer in the building. As far as the teachers that I have, I know that a lot of teachers now feel safer and they're really happy to come back. And so just from the lowest level to the highest level, it's just a great thing that we're finally coming back. And one thing the presentation at
Ryan,
the
you're
beginning.
breaking up a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing I wanted to elaborate on was the beginning of this being in the public forum. Mr. Mayor, I'm not sure if you were here during this part, but just to summarize, a group of 8th grade students were pushing for non-mandatory uniform wearing this year at the middle school and elementary level. And I am a fan of that. And that is just because of the circumstances that this year brings. Typically, I used to be the kid who's like, oh, I don't want uniforms. Like, nobody wants uniforms. But I have, as I've matured, I've realized that there is a need for uniforms in this district. And I do feel that they hold some value, but this year is the exception. And I also think that these students' advocacy should not be silenced. And I hope that the school committee and the administration can at least pick up on this and really go into depth on how big of a need and how big of an issue getting uniforms onto students is. As Mr. John Kingston said, financial savings for a lot of parents in the community, despite the effort that we make, it still might be difficult to get uniforms on those students. So I just feel that that is something we could dig deeper into, another factor on top of a layer of factors that we have as far as they're coming back to school. So I hope we can put a little more attention to that. I hope those students are not being silenced. And I just think that it's a great thing that students are finally advocating for themselves. And it's really just a new wave of students interacting with policymakers. And that's something to be proud of. And I hope that these students aren't dismissed and that they can get some answers. They can get some more transparency. And then hopefully some of their demands can be met. And if not, they can be reasoned. And we can really just strive to help them reach the goal, which is just the equity issue of uniforms and really just this tough time. So that is all I have for the student report. Once again, I just want to say for all the members, everybody who's involved in getting that school. It's I'm happy to come back. So thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. We'll move on to the consent calendar.
Mayor Arrigo, earlier we discussed taking the financial reports off the consent calendar. So with that being said, a motion to accept the consent calendar.
Without the
without financial report.
Without financial report.
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Bronson Rizzo,
Yes.
Mr. D'Ambrosio,
Yes.
Mr. Ferranti,
Yes.
Mrs. Gravellisi.
Excuse me, just sorry, one moment for clarification, Ms. Rizzo. Were we taking the food service management
Separate.
That's
off of?
under new business.
Okay, but we didn't make I just wanted to clear that it was off the consent calendar.
That's what I thought that's what we said.
Oh, I thought you said the financials. You didn't say, I didn't hear you say
Well, that's
food
what,
service.
that's what it was. I'm sorry. Food
It was-
service financials. I'm sorry.
Okay. I just wanted a clarification before I voted. Yes.
Mr. Sinella,
Yes.
Ms. Ty,
Ms. Ty, you're muted.
Sorry. Yes.
Mayor Arrigo.
Yes. Okay. The consent calendar is passed. We'll move on to the report of subcommittees. None?
Nope.
No old business. We'll move on to new business, which would be the consent calendar, the food service financials. Mrs. Rizzo?
I believe Anthony's going to be doing that one.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah.
Mr. D'Ambrosio?
Thank you. Should I just propose a motion to accept the proposals for the food services discussion?
Should read it.
One moment, I'm sorry. Is it on the initial agenda? That's my bad.
Anthony, no, it's not. What Matt brought up to us was because of the COVID, we are allowed to do a 3-year, we're allowed to go into a 3rd-year extension. To go into a contract for a 3rd-year extension.
Great.
So I apologize.
So
Can you just read the paragraph?
What paragraph?
Just the first, Stacy.
Huh?
Just read the first paragraph.
We didn't get any. So how about if I do this and make a motion for the school committee to approve the 3rd-year extension for the food service contract due to COVID regulations. Does that work?
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded by Ms. Gravellisi. Roll call of the members.
Mrs. Bronson Rizzo,
Yes.
Mr. D'Ambrosio,
yes.
Mr. Ferranti,
Yes.
Mrs. Gravellisi,
Yes.
Mr. Sinella,
Yes.
Ms. Ty,
Yes.
Mayor Arrigo.
Yes. We'll move on to school committee interests. Any school committee members have anything that they'd like to? The announcements? Nope. Seeing none. We'll move on to motions. Mr. D'Ambrosio?
Absolutely. So the first motion that appears on our agenda is a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement with the Revere Federation of Paraprofessionals.
Second.
Motion seconded by Ms. Ty. Roll call of the members.
Mrs. Bronson Rizzo,
Yes.
Mr. D'Ambrosio,
Yes.
Mr. Ferranti,
Yes.
Mrs. Gravellisi,
Yes.
Mr. Sinella,
Yes.
Ms. Ty,
Yes.
Mayor Arrigo.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. This motion, I don't believe appears on the agenda, but I believe that we have to make it here as well. It's a parallel motion to approve the memorandum of agreement with the Revere Teachers Association.
Yes, that should come up right here. Mhm.
Motion presented. Second.
Second.
Second from Ms. Gravellisi. Roll call of the members.
Mrs. Bronson Rizzo,
Present.
Mr. D'Ambrosio,
Yes.
Mr. Ferranti,
Yes.
Mrs. Gravellisi,
Yes.
Mr. Sinella,
No.
Ms. Ty,
Yes.
Mayor Arrigo.
Yes. Motion passes.
Great. Thank you. And the second motion listed on the agenda is a motion by Mrs. Stacy Bronson Rizzo. Would you like me to read the motion, or would you like to read your own motion?
That's fine. It's fine.
Okay. The motion is that a formal motion be made to amend policy EBCFA face coverings by removing the sentence, quote unquote, exempted from this policy are students in grade 1 and below.
Second.
Roll call of the members.
Can I just, I just want to clarify that originally, when we all started with the policies due to COVID, we were given instructions that it could be grades 2 and up. And from this day forward, we have learned, like everything else that has been fluid, that it is best that all students pre-K up wear face masks. So that was the purpose of this.
Thank you for the clarification, Mrs. Rizzo. I believe there was a motion and a second, so we'll take a roll call.
Mrs. Bronson Rizzo,
Yes.
Mr. D'Ambrosio,
Yes.
Mr. Ferranti,
Yes.
Mrs. Gravellisi,
Yes.
Mr. Sinella,
Yes.
Ms. Ty,
Yes.
Mayor Arrigo.
Yes.
Fantastic. The final motion listed on our agenda is submitted by Mr. Fred Sinella, and the motion is such that the superintendent be instructed to relax the dress code for the remainder of this school year, 2020 through 2021, to be reinstated in the 2021-2022 school year.
On the
Yep.
Yes,
Mr. Sinella.
The reason for making this motion was that apparently the furthest thought from anyone's mind was getting the proper attire in such short notice, where parents are having a difficult time finding the uniformity of it. By relaxing it, it will allow parents the discretion of picking a jersey or slacks to go along with it. The superintendent earlier had mentioned that the colors, while are important in a full grade level, if it's not the right green, that would be acceptable. But she's even gone so far as to allow a white shirt. I think that for the first time, sweatpants are being allowed. So I think that the parents have enough on their plate now, getting the children to school if they're in different grades and everything else. We heard earlier from students who would like to see it relaxed for the rest of this year, but reinstated back in September. So I would appreciate a yes vote from the rest of the membership to coincide with the wishes of students and parents. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sinella. Any other members? Okay, so I believe there was a second. So we'll take a roll call.
Mrs. Bronson Rizzo,
Yes.
Mr. D'Ambrosio,
Yes.
Mr. Ferranti,
Yes.
Mrs. Gravellisi,
Yes.
Mr. Sinella,
Yes.
Ms. Ty,
Yes.
Mayor Arrigo.
Yes. Seeing no further business before the school committee,
Move to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn with a second from Ms. Franti. We will adjourn until our next regular meeting, which I believe is April 20th? Or the 16th?
Yes. Yep. No, 20th.
No. Yeah, April 20th. Okay.
Tuesday, yeah,
Yep.
20th.
April 20th.
The
All right.
20th.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.